Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all the VSOs and the leadership and the veterans that are out there for your tremendous, steadfast work, your perseverance, and your strong leadership. Look, this is a very important title that we need to discuss. This is the crux, the soul of the bill. It is based on a bill that you all worked together to produce. It's the Presumptive Benefits for Warfighters Exposed to Burn Pits and Other Toxins Act. It is a bipartisan and bicameral bill that originated from our veteran communities, and we're moving it forward as now Title IV of this important bill. It is the soul of honoring our PACT Act. It is the vital organ that keeps this patient alive in order to ensure that we give the care and the benefits that the veterans need and their widowed spouses who are relying on this. It is the part that addresses the family as well. But before I continue to go there, I just want to review some of the excuses that I've been hearing over and over and over. First is this, wait a minute, we need to do more research on this, because it goes back to the original excuse that there's not enough evidence. Look, guys, I've said over and over, clarifying this misinformation. There is enough evidence to suggest that toxic burn pit smoke can produce illnesses in the lungs and cancers and autoimmune diseases. Carcinogens cause cancer. Burn pit toxic smoke contains cancer. They've identified carcinogens in the soil. Burn pit exposed veterans are developing cancer. Where the hell do you think they got it from? Okay, it's very straightforward. There's enough evidence from extrapolating from firefighters who were exposed to 9/11 and jet fuel that was burnt. There is enough evidence in our own U.S. environmental research that has already banned burn pits from being conducted in our backyards or as industries in the United States. So there is enough evidence with a high enough suspicion that burn pits are causing these illnesses, and we don't have to go beyond the scientific papers. We can just listen to our veterans and our veterans' widows who are crying out over and over again, who say that they have no other risk factors, that they're absolutely healthy, and now they're dying or they're dead from all these different illnesses. The other excuse has been that, oh, this will be too much of a strain for the institution. These are unfunded mandates, and we don't know how the institution are going to handle it. It is our responsibility to fund what our veterans need, and we must do that for our veterans. That strain in the institution argument is from individuals who put the institution first. And I'm telling you, we must put our veterans first. We must give our veterans and be veteran-centric, veterans-focused, and take care of our veterans like we take care of our patients in the emergency department that I know of quite well. The other excuse is that we cost too much. It costs too much money. Now, listen, that's a value statement. And I don't know about you all, but my value is to put people first, is to make sure that our veterans are taken care of. My value, instead of giving tax breaks in the tunes of millions and billions to 1% rich individual families in our nation, is to give the veterans the care that they need, because they need it right now before they're dying. The other excuse is that the pace is too fast. The pace is too fast. This is ridiculous. Ask the widows of our veterans if we're moving too fast. Ask folks like Leroy and others who are suffering from constrictive bronchiolitis, who are 100% oxygen dependent and therefore unable to care for their family, work, or others, if we're moving too fast. When I hear and veterans hear that the pace is too fast, what they're hearing is that they want to delay until dead, just like what happened with Agent Orange and our Vietnam veterans. And so, look, since I've heard about this, I've been getting real-time feedback from the veterans in my district. And I want to tell you about Alejandro Camacho of Palm Desert, who's a veteran who answered the call to duty. While serving in South Sinjar, Iraq, Alejandro breathed in toxic fumes, particulate matter, and carcinogens from the batteries, medical waste, jet fuel, and other military items that were disposed of in large burn pits on his base. When he returned home, he noticed that his breathing in the fumes had caused a toll on his body. He was later diagnosed with an aggressive form of testicular cancer. Despite his doctor's belief that his diagnosis was linked to his exposure to burn pits, the VA denied his claim because they said, quote, there wasn't enough evidence, unquote. I have a Palm Desert councilwoman here, Karina Quintanilla, who tells me that her ex-husband is still having constant coughing, chronic coughing illnesses after being deployed in the Middle East. Ms. Birch, have you heard from members of your organization that have been diagnosed with cancer that their doctors believe is linked to burn pit exposure and their claims were denied by the VA?
Yes, we've heard from numerous members and through our survey that reaches thousands and thousands of veterans across the country that there are plenty of veterans right now that are getting denied benefits that have cancer, rare cancer. And you look at these veterans and they're young, like me, I'm 34, I look healthy, right? I'm not, I got all kinds of medical issues. And they push you to the side and say, oh, well, you can't have cancer. You know, you're young, you're healthy. And then later, you know, they find out later, oh, well, you did have cancer. We don't know how you got it, but now it's stage 4 and well, good luck.
Yeah, sadly, this is a common theme throughout our veteran story. What we need is to end the excuses, to take care of our veterans, to pass the Honoring Our Pact Act, and making sure that the presumptive benefits for warfighters section in this Title IV is maintained. For those of you who think that this is the way we're going to save costs or nickel and dime our veterans by eliminating some of the cancers or pulmonary illnesses that are listed in this list, I have news for you. You will not go and attempt this without resistance or without a fight, because this is what's going to save lives. This is what's going to bring justice to the widows who are currently suffering trying to raise their families. And we will fight tooth and nails to make sure that this section is maintained.
Thank you, Dr. Mr. Brown, I got to give the last word to on this section.